Shalom everyone, I am Sister Jackie. In this video, I want to explain how I quickly memorize scriptures using Flashcard Hero. I have this particular application installed on my MacBook Pro. However, I do believe that it's available to Windows users. So with that being said, I'm just going to walk you through my process. So after I clicked on the Flashcard Hero icon, as you see, this Welcome to Flashcard Hero page appeared. I'm using version 2.7.2. This particular section here is to create new deck of flashcards and to open sample cards. For the purpose of this video, we're not going to do that because I just want to show how I quickly learn scriptures. Now, I have several different deck of flashcards listed here. And I have them there for different reasons on how I would like to learn. But the only flashcards that we're going to deal with is Bible scriptures. And I'm going to click on this now. So, as you see, when the Bible scripture GUI appears, I have, I call these folders, but the proper term is topics. And how you know is you click this plus here and you create a new topic. And inside topics, I usually have my cards, which consist of scriptures / Bible verses. So just so you can see how it is, I'm going to click on new scriptures, and then you see I've already pre-entered these scriptures here. And it's on a card. It's sort of like, well, it is a flashcard. So, and how I have mine designed, my topics designed is new scriptures or scriptures that I haven't learned yet. Practice is what I use when I'm ready to memorize some scriptures. And then first, second, third, and fourth group, I place scriptures I place scriptures that I've already learned, but I still practice to make sure they're retained in my memory. So I just want to before I want to give you a demo, but just so you can look over here on the right side where you have formatting. You can change the text, alignment, and so on. But I'm not using this for this video. So I'm going to look in new scriptures. Before I do that, let me also explain this here. You see write, progress, and study. So when you're on write, this is how you create your new topics and the cards inside the topics. Progress is to let you know your progress on how well you're doing. And study is what I use to memorize the scripture. So I'm going to do a demo. I'm going to do a demo so you can see what I do. So what I'm going to do is go here on new scriptures. I'm going to try to find a scripture with only two sentences. so it doesn't take so long. Okay, see, I'm using. You may see I may substitute Yah and Yeshua. Sometimes I may use Elohim, um, because all of these scriptures are in the King James version of the Bible. Is using the King James version of the Bible, but sometimes I substitute God for Yah or Elohim and Jesus for Yeshua. But let me try to find one. Okay, so this one might be good. So what I do is drag it and drag it over the practice topic. And now it's sitting here. So like I can, looking at this sentence, it might be, I might have a typo there. So I'm going to drag this one back. We're not going to use that one because I have to validate that scripture. Seems like there's some type of typo. Let's use this one, Proverbs 21:19. Let's drag it in there. Okay. So now I can study from here. I usually say it verbally. It is better to dwell in the wilderness than with a contentious and an angry woman. I would like to say very funny, Solomon, but it's probably true. It's most likely true. But anyway, um, this is the one that I'm going to study, but I won't study it this way. I'm going to click on the practice topic, and then I'll click the study button. Oops. So this is showing multiple choice. I'll show that to you later. But what I'm going to do is go to memorize. And it shows me like a flashcard. So initially when I look at the flashcard of a new scripture, I don't know, or at least I can't remember what the scripture is saying. So I'll click on the blue and it'll bring up the scripture, and I'll try to say it a couple of times. It is better to dwell in the wilderness than with a contentious and an angry woman. It is better to dwell in the wilderness than with a contentious and an angry woman. That's a tongue twister. So after I've done that a few times, what I do is I move to type. I try to type the scripture and see how I do. So I'm going to do that now. It is better to dwell in the wilderness than with an angry and an contentious woman. So, it is better to dwell in the wilderness than with so something is wrong. So I have something wrong. So while I'm dwelling on that, let me just show you a couple of things. So I have, how I'm typing it now is word by word, but I could also, I prefer to type it letter by letter. So I'm going to try to do it again. It is better to dwell in the wilderness than with an contentious and an angry woman. So as you see, I got it wrong. And how I didn't type it correctly. This is one thing I don't like about typing. Because say if I knew the scripture, it doesn't allow me to backspace. It would immediately flag me as, oh, you got it wrong. But in this case, I did get it wrong, so we're cool. Um, so what I usually do is, because I didn't get it right, I will recite the scripture again, and then I will try to type it again. It is better to dwell in the wilderness than with a contentious and an angry woman. So I'll click over here and try it again. So as you see now, this is green. If I click next, it shows my total time, one card. It says now that I learned this particular card. All is good for now. So the scripture is pretty much in my head for now, but the challenge would be, if I go back to write, what I would do is I would take the next step is I would take this scripture and drag it to one of the groups. Now in the groups, I already have scriptures that I've memorized. And the whole purpose of dragging a new scripture within a group is that it'll make sure I still, it's like reinforcement learning. I want to make sure that I remember the scripture, as opposed to just remembering it at that moment. So I usually like these groups have 20 cards each, and inside the groups there may be cards that have one or more scriptures on it, sort of like this Philippians 2 1 through 3. So I normally keep only 20 in each group. So this is full. The one that is available that needs more room is the fourth group. So I'll drag it here. And then later on, I will practice this scripture. I will go through this entire group just to get to that particular scripture to see if I still remember. So that's pretty much how I learn scriptures very, very fast. So before I log off of here, I just want to show you a little more of the features that this particular application has. I'm going to work off the first group. I'll click the study tab, and right now it's on memorize, but I would like you to see what multiple choice looks like. So this one says Psalms 24 1. And then I would choose, if this one is E, and then I would click check answer. It's green. If it was red, of course I got it wrong. If you look over here, it says questions 1 through 15. So it's going to give me a total of 15 questions. Right now, because I have one right, I'm at 7%. If I click the next button, it'll continue. This one is 1 Timothy. This is let no man despise thy youth. I'll click that, check the answer, and so on. So I'll just quickly do all of these just so you can see the final result. So these pretty much I'm flying through because I'm used to doing these often. So So I have 100%, and it shows me the time I spent on the cards, total amount of questions, what I got wrong, and what is correct. So average time per second. So this is pretty much how the multiple choice works. Like if I go back to study, like if I'm looking at typing, I can say the answer first, and then I would have to choose what chapter, what book, what chapter, and what verse. I can also make it go both directions. Sometimes it gives you the answer first. It gives you the question first, and then the next time it gives the answer. So there's different ways that you can use this particular tool to motivate your learning. So let me move this thing out of the way. All right, so like the final thing I want to show is progress. So progress shows your progress on all of the cards, no matter what group they're in. So like if you click on progress, as you see, if it's green, I of course I got it correct. But if it's white, that means I haven't studied it yet. If it's red, that means it's wrong, and so on. So it looks like I'm doing pretty well. So if you look at last studied, it shows you the cards that you studied today, this week, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. And then you can also restudy these cards. Um, difficulty, it shows like, okay, I have one, that's the one that's in red. Somewhat difficult, these, but I have a total of 118 cards memorized, which I think is pretty good. So I hope this helps, and I hope someone can use this information on how I study to retain scriptures quickly. So with that, I'm going to say shalom. Have a lovely night. If you like the video, please click like, and if you like these type of videos, feel free to subscribe. Thank you.